Okay, how to reattract a woman who left you. Okay, and I'm going to make this video just because one of the most frequently asked questions that I get all the time is something along the lines of like, my girlfriend left me, or, my wife wants separation, or my girlfriend is pulling away. Casey, how do I reattract a woman who left me? How do I reattract her so that way she desires to be with me? Okay, so here's what you have to know before I even teach you anything about this, because I have a full page of notes here and we're going to discuss anything. If you get to this point, the part that's very hard is the woman can feel and can sense that you are at a point where you have fear of loss. If you get to a point where you have fear of loss, that the relationship is going to be over or is about to be over, this is going to be very hard for her to respect you. Because what this shows is fear of loss shows the opposite of confidence. Fear of loss shows the opposite of pre-selection. And fear of loss shows that you're worried that the relationship will be over. Which means that this is the opposite of showing confidence and stability and strength. You've gotten to a point where you've revealed a lot of insecurities and she starts to actually wonder if she can do better. One of the only reasons that a woman will ever leave a man is if she genuinely believes that she can do better or there's a better fit for her elsewhere. So with all that said, okay, how to reattract a woman who left you? What we have to address before I give you more step-by-step processes is we have to understand one thing. What most likely happened, okay, is she actually wasn't pulling away. She was probably just text messaging you less. I'll say that one more time. She wasn't pulling away. She was probably just texting you less. Less communication caused you to get reactive. Less communication caused you to get insecure. And what happened was, if you would have passed the test, or what happened was she saw that you failed the test, okay? What happened was, if she would have seen that you had the patience to just let time go by, extend the time horizon of the relationship, there's a very good chance that everything would have just solved itself. But what happens is when most men feel that she's pulling away, your emotions tend to get the best of you. You start to call her more, you start to text message her more, you start to desire more communication, you want to see her more, and because of that, her desire fades. Okay, so keep that in mind. Since you got reactive, okay, since she could tell that you had fear of loss, at this point, all you have to do, listen closely, all you have to do is show the opposite. Okay, you have to start to show the opposite. And keep in mind, this is easier said than done, because every day that goes by, you're probably heartbroken and your emotions are probably getting the best of you. At this point, it's probably really hard to eat. It's hard to sleep. At this point, you're probably thinking about her all the time. Okay, and what that means is she's what you're thinking about right when you go to bed, and as soon as you wake up, she is the first thought that comes into your mind. That's what heartbreak is. And if you get to that point, it's going to be terrible. You have to know this. It's going to be terrible, but you have to let time go by and slowly work through all these things. So I'm going to help you with this, okay? What you have to do is you have to start to show the opposite, because what happened was you got reactive. This is the point where you now need to show strength, okay? So here's what you don't do, okay? There's 3 things that you do not do, okay? Number 1, okay, the first thing that you do not do is you do not act like you're going through something. Because this is what most guys do. When they're going through something, a lot of times you'll see this, a guy goes through a breakup or something, and he has this big drastic change on social media. All of a sudden, he's trying to post all these pictures and videos of him partying, or him out at all these venues and locations doing all this stuff. And the problem is that she can tell and she can feel that you're reactive and you're hurt. She can tell that you're hurt, so you're seeking external validation. So you don't do that. Okay, you keep things normal how you were already acting before. You don't act like you're going through something. That's number 1. Number 2, okay, you do not totally go and change a bunch of stuff about yourself. You see this with guys all the time. They go and change all of a sudden how they're wearing their clothes when it comes to fashion. They change all of a sudden, the friends they're hanging out with. They change a bunch of stuff. Don't do that. It shows you're moved off center, and it shows that you don't have a strong sense of self or identity at this point in your life. And number 3, you do not sit and beg for her back. I'll say that one more time. You do not sit and beg for her back. If you do that, even if she agrees to be with you, you have to understand that it's temporary, and her respect level has completely dropped at this point. So what will most likely happen if you do this is it might be good for a week or two, and then all of a sudden you'll notice she desires to pull away again because you haven't addressed the root problem. And the root problem is that you started to show weakness. Okay, so if she left you, you literally have to do the opposite of what you were doing. This is first and foremost, you have to understand this. If she left you, the only chance that you have at reattracting her was you need to show the opposite of what you were doing. So before, she was probably all you were thinking about, and she was probably a huge part of your life, which means that you had somebody to go to the movies with, you had somebody to eat dinner with, you had somebody to talk to. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to show self-sufficiency. And she doesn't need to know what you're doing with your time. Let mystery work in your favor. If she can think you're out doing whatever and you don't necessarily need her at this point, you now show that you're more of a mystery. Let that mystery and that intrigue work in your favor. So the first thing you're going to show is self-sufficiency. You're okay by yourself. You're going to go spend your time with your family and with your friends. Specifically, I would recommend spending time with family, because if you're at a point where you're at an emotional low, a lot of times what happens is when men start to associate with their male friends, okay, those guys will convince you to go out and party more and try to attract a new woman right away. And it doesn't work because it's all out of insecurity and ego at that point. Go spend the time with your family. Occupy your time with your family. So if you need somebody to talk through things with, it can be your family, and it's much easier. You're going to show self-sufficiency. That's number one. Number two, you're going to show zero need for any cell phone communication. Now, what that means is if she reaches out to you, you're right there. You're not going anywhere. You're not ignoring her. You can reply, but you're not initiating communication, and you're not asking to see her, which shows that you don't need any added cell phone communication. Now, what will happen a lot of times if a woman breaks up with a guy is after a week or two, she might even miss that attention or that validation consistently that she had before, because you have to remember, even if you were going weak in a relationship emotionally, she was still gaining value from you because she had somebody to talk to. Like, just your presence alone and who you are, just being there by her, that is value in and of itself, because you're a human being and she has somebody to be with. So she might actually start to miss that. She might actually start to miss you. If she misses you, that's good, because that means you're showing more strength than you were before. And number three, you're going to actually show that you have a social life of abundance. Your family, you're out doing stuff with them. Your friends, you're doing stuff with them. Maybe you go take a vacation. Maybe you go pick up a new sport or a new hobby that you used to have interest in. You're showing that your social life and your day-to-day living and your family life, you're still in abundance as a human being. And that's very important. So if you can do this, there's a very high probability that you can get her to miss you, but not miss you for the reason that you're thinking. Because if you're thinking that she needs a relationship at this point, you're wrong. This is what I mean. She will miss you because you're finally showing the strength that she was craving. She liked your personality, which is why she was with you in the first place. Women only love, and women only respect, and women only reward, and specifically women miss that strength that you had at one point. When you show that you have that strength, now you can get her to miss you and potentially start to fall in love with you again and get her emotions to work in your favor. But you have to show that you are not as weak as she thought that you were. And keep in mind, I will tell you this is easier said than done, and there is even a very high probability that this could take months. You have to know this. This could literally take months. It could take months of time to go by where she starts to see, okay, he wasn't as weak as I thought he was. He showed that he's okay by himself and that he doesn't need me, that he doesn't need to reach out, that he doesn't need communication. And listen to me closely. I want you to save this video and come back to it as many times as you need to, because your mind will be racing. Your mind will be racing. Your emotions are going to tell you, pick up the phone and call her. Your emotions will tell you after 3 days, see if you can rekindle and send that text message, send that paragraph. That reactive energy will be flowing through you, because that's what a heartbreak is. You have to show strength. Come back to this video if you need it. You have to show patience. You have to remember this. If you were to be with that woman for the rest of your life, how slow would the story of love evolve? Imagine you have a storybook or a novel, and imagine that you want that novel to take 50 years. There's going to be twists and turns and ups and downs in that novel, but how slow would you uncover each piece of the story page by page? That's what the love story needs to look like. Slow. You let patience and time work in your favor. You don't get reactive. Whatever you do, do not start to break the rules that I just told you on this video. If you like this video, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Join us inside the community that I built so I can help you learn, understand, and master the language of women, and we'll see you in the next one.